Already complicated, y'all. What up, YouTube? It's your boy K9 Games, bruh. We've been already freaking. Oh,
Welcome
what's
to
up? What's up?
Live
What's up? What's up?
Studio.
What's up? Y'all, we've been over here freaking using Blender, learning how to use Blender, bruh. And like, bro, this shit is complicated, bro. But we staying true, okay? That's what I was gonna say. All right, we staying true. But anyways, I wanted to go on a stream, but I need to get back into that. So hold on. So that's what we finna do. That's what that's what we finna do. We was playing some Clash Royale earlier, y'all. Y'all was wondering what the heli. Oh, that is with the heli. Get that shit the fuck out of here. Actually, yeah, we could just go ahead and do that. And that okay. All right. So now let's go over here. See, bro, this is the bullshit that we looking at right now. This nigga's talking about some. He done made a fucking PDF on all the motherfucking like, bro. What? All right, look.
If you're finding it hard to remember all of the keyboard shortcuts that I've mentioned, I've actually put together a PDF, a cheat
Nah,
sheet
fuck
of
no. I did not ask to go to college. I'm just trying to learn how to use a fucking editing app, bro. What is this? What is this, bro? This nigga has a fucking thesaurus, bro. I'm not gonna play with this, bro.
most common hotkeys, and you can download that by clicking the link in the description, so you could print it out.
I'm not
or just have it
downloading
on
your
a separate
goddamn goddamn fucking cheat sheet. I'm not downloading, bro. I'm not finna learn all this. I'm not downloading this, bro. Like, bro, come on, bro. And then my motherfucking ankles is itching. I was outside last night and some fucking mosquitoes started biting my ankles. Like, oh, bro, that shit itch so goddamn bad. Oh, goddamn. I hate that they like, bro. I swear, man, like mosquitoes bite you in the most annoyingest places that like they can find, bro. Like I swear they just find places to bite you and then they bite you there again.
while
All
you
right,
work.
let me see what it is.
Also, if you are from another 3D software package, you might notice that Blender's hotkeys are different than what you are used to.
You know what? I don't like you, bro. I'm gonna keep it a stack, man. Look at the way your head, like, bro. Look at his head.
So if you actually go to
Look, y'all see him? I'm keeping a stack. I don't think I like him.
preferences, just for those people
But forward learning, we're gonna stick with it. So we're gonna stick with it.
that are from other softwares. If you change the key map to industry compatible, you'll find that these shortcuts are probably more in line with what you remember from other software. I'll also put a link to a cheat sheet that is just
Stop
for the
doing
industry
this. Stop. Bro. I don't want to memorize. Nigga, nobody asked to go to college, gang. Nobody asked to fucking get a PhD in motherfucking editing, bro. That's not what I signed up for. I thought I was gonna just come in here, you know what I'm saying, be on some CapCut shit, bro. I'm coming from CapCut. This is what I'm used to, bro. This is what I'm used to, bro. Look, bro. This is all we doing, bro. Just this, bro. See this, bro? Look, bro. And then you just simply edit, bro. I don't know what the fuck, what, bro? Nah, hell no. This is too much. All right, fuck it. We gonna stay in there. Come on.
key maps that somebody else put together. I've got nothing to do with it, but I'll put that link there so you can check it out as well. For the rest of this tutorial series, I'm going to use Blender's hotkeys. Just keep that in mind. Now, let's say as I am moving around here, I'm like, oh, this looks really good. I've got some nice Rembrandt lighting across the monkey's face. I want to take a photo. I want to take a nice, pretty image of this and post it on socials for clout, right? Well, I could take a screenshot of it, but that would be silly because it's got all these lines all over. It's all noisy, right? We don't like it. The way you take a photo, a pretty image in Blender, is to do a render. So you could do that one of two ways, by going up to render and hitting render image, or remembering the hotkey, which says next to it F12. So when you do that, a little window will pop up. It will use your
That shit's
CPU
fucking
or
ugly. Bro. We just had to learn all that bullshit so you can fucking show me a clay model of some dumb fucking monkey. Bro, that shit ain't even fucking clean, bro. Like, bro, this shit is fucking, bro. This is what I mean, bro. Show me how to fucking. I'm just trying to make a fucking transformer or like something, bro. Like, I wanna be able to have a video to where I make motherfucking God come down and shit. Like, bro, that's what I'm trying to learn, bro. I don't know what the fuck this is, bro. Like, real talk. I don't know what the fuck this is,
depending on
bro.
which renderer you've got active, and it will render out a pretty image. And from here, you could go image and then save as, and it'll save it as a PNG or whatever, wherever you want to save it. But you might notice looking at this that this is actually a different view than what we have here, right? So here I've got a nice view of the monkey's face, but there is a
Nah,
different view.
shit.
And the reason for that
Nigga,
is when
nah,
you do a
shit,
render, it's not
bro.
rendering from
This
the view
dude,
that
this
you're
dude explains stuff 10 years fucking long, bro. He could have told us about the camera fucking angles before he even did any of the dumb shit he just fucking said, bro. Like, real talk, he could have been all like, hey, look, so you gonna open up this window and you gotta render, da 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 da. But remember that before you render it, you wanna make sure that you have the right perspective, da da da. So that way, after he already explained all the dumbass fucking hotkey shit, he didn't have to come back again and then fucking talk about the fucking angles and what he decided to fucking do. And that's what I mean by he fucking sucks at fucking teaching, bro. God fucking damn, bro. Fuck.
looking at currently, it's always going to render from the point of view of the camera.
Nah,
So
shit.
this is our camera over here, and it's looking from this angle. And we can actually look through the camera by just clicking the little camera icon there, or by remembering the hotkey, which is number pad 0.
Step into Wig Studio, the platform for
Bro,
agencies
this is
and
making me
enterprises.
cry, bro.
Kick off
I just
projects
know how
in a
complicated
workspace
this shit's about to be, bro.
So
This
how
is
do
about
we
to be a
move
whole
the camera?
motherfucking
Well, Blender's a
goddamn
little
fucking-
different to other software packages, but you're supposed to like hit G to move it, and then like middle mouse to zoom in and out. And if you
nigga.
want
This
to,
gotta
like,
go
move
on my
axis,
resume
it's
after
G
I
and then
learned
X.
this.
You could do that, but actually what a lot of users prefer, especially those from other software packages, is if you've got your camera selected, which by the way, I haven't mentioned this, but up here, this is your outliner. It's kind of an inventory of every item that you've got in your scene. Okay,
Bro,
so with
this
the
is-
camera there
It's
selected.
taking too long to
if
get
I
to the
hit
juice.
N,
How do I fucking
N
make a
is
fucking
to bring up
transformer
the
come in the
properties,
room, bro?
N for properties
God
for
damn.
whatever reason. And then go to view. There's a little box there that just says lock to camera to view. So now, with that active, if I just use the same keyboard shortcuts as before, middle mouse button to orbit around, shift middle mouse to drag it, you can hit G, and then middle mouse, just tap it once. As I said, it's a little awkward, Blender's the way it handles with the camera. But anyway, just move that out, and then I gotta rotate it down. All right, so I'm gonna rotate. So with the camera selected, tap R, then middle mouse, and it's now kind of like freehand rotating around. So I'll just move it up slightly. There we go. Okay, this is.
Bro,
This is
this
just a full
nigga
run
is
session, so
ugly,
don't worry
bro.
if you're
Stop
making mistakes.
talking,
We'll
bro.
get to actual
Shut
practical.
up. Shut up. I don't like you. I don't like this dude. Something up with him, y'all. No, I'ma figure it out too. Over here explaining shit for 10 years. We not doing that. Okay, hold on. Even though I don't like you, we need you. We need to look at the full course, because I need to figure out how he was able to bring.
This is Blender, open source 3D software that can be used to make animations, visual effects, game
See,
assets,
this is what I'm
practically
trying to
anything
do.
3D. And best of all, it's 100% free,
free.
and it always will be.
Hey.
If you've never used it before but you want to learn it, well, then you're in the right place. This is a tutorial for complete beginners. I've been using Blender for 20 years, so I'm going to show you how to use all of its core features. And by the end, you'll finish with not only the confidence to start your own projects, but with your very own donut animation. And I know this looks complex, but I promise you it's achievable for a complete beginner. And I say that with confidence because many already have. This is actually the 4th version of this tutorial. I made the first.
Shut up. I told y'all he talks too long. And he talks too goddamn much. Okay, so this is objects shrink. Okay, because I want to actually get to making a fucking donut, bro. Fuck. Yeah. Okay.
There we go. Okay. This is this is just a fool around session, so don't worry if you're making mistakes. We'll get to actual practical building stuff in the next part. I'm just trying to find ways to throw in these like fundamental tools. Rotate, right? The monkey's head is just, he needs to look dead on at the camera, and currently he's off. What an excuse to use the rotate tool. So you could enable the rotate tool, right? The familiar axes there. You could click and rotate it around like that. Again, most people prefer to remember the hotkey, which is R to rotate, right? So it's now just freehand rotating on my cursor. Remember the axes, as I mentioned before.
Okay, wait. We have to start putting this stuff into action. Hold on, wait. Time out. Okay. Wait. He said, okay, we can click here. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then I remember he was saying something like this. Oh, fuck. Okay, yeah. Boom. Okay, boom. Okay. And then they got the camera and Neil. Okay, bam, okay. And then we need to move. Okay, boom. Okay. I'm fucking with it. Hey. Jiggy. Okay. Let me see. We need to add in oh no, he said something about rendering. I remember he was talking about. Oh no. No, what did we just do? Wait. No, I don't want to render no more. Time out. Oh, that's rendering. Render. Okay. Render image. Okay. Boom. Yo, what's taking this shit so goddamn long? Somebody's asking me about the top $30 list. Hey man, don't question me like that, bro. What y'all doing, bro? Okay, hold on, wait a minute, y'all. This ain't supposed to be doing this. I have no idea why that's actually doing that. That is not supposed to be doing that. Bro, let me find out y'all can't even see, bro. Y'all can't see what I'm doing? Bro, I've been on the wrong motherfucking thing this whole time. Bro, my bad, y'all. I'm so sorry, bro. Y'all couldn't even see what I've been doing this whole time. Bro, y'all couldn't even see what I was doing this whole time. Bro, luckily I went and I checked this shit, bro. My bad, y'all. Yo, nobody said nothing. I ain't even know, bro. I'm over here trying to motherfucking learn this shit, bro. Okay. Anyways, this is whatever this is what we was doing, y'all. Y'all was wondering. Boom. Okay. So we was in the middle of rendering some shit though. Yo, see, this is my picture right here. Yo, this my shit. I made this. My first 3D object. I now own the third dimension. I have now taken control over. See, people was always calling me crazy because I talked about these higher dimensions, but they didn't know I was ahead. And now look, I own the third dimension. And as I get better with this shit, I will conquer the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th dimension. And I'll be making 10th dimensional edits. Soon we will have VR edits going in no time. Okay, we will be doing 20th dimensional work in no time. Okay, but I'm gonna take a quick break. I need to what is it called? I need to go to the store to get something to drink. Hold on. Okay, I'll be right back, y'all. You always getting fooled. Bro, why did Lil Six beat up somebody? That nigga Lil Six always getting fooled. Lil Six always getting fooled. That nigga Lil Six always getting fooled. The rapper Lil Six always getting fooled.
ZZZZ.
What up, y'all? We back. I was just thinking, man, I'm trying to get this sponsorship with Retro, bro. I'm trying to negotiate a new deal with them. As y'all know, I work very, very closely with Retro Fitness, and specifically Retro Fitness Richardson. And there's some things that I want to do for them, but I need a bigger budget in order to do it. But anyways, what's up, y'all? How have y'all been? Y'all been over here just chilling and shit? We're about to get back into doing this shit. Let's go. Alrighty. Alright, Ludwig, come on.
So the x-axis, we'll rotate it back and forth. The y-axis, tilt it, or z, there we go, to turn it towards the camera. Just a little bit, right? And there you go, F12. And we've done it. Let's save it. Let's upload it to ArtStation. And then just wait for the recruiters, essentially. All right, let's start a new...
I was trying to do something else. Avenue, on the avenue. Okay, nah, let me stop. But I was trying to do something else. Okay, let me see.
New scene so that we can get ready for part 2, where we're going to actually start building our donut and learn
let's do fucking donut.
Now we know how Blender functions. Let's start building that donut. So, as before, let's first
we are in the middle
just
of
to repeat, make sure you are working
learning this
with
Blender
a
shit,
new
bro. It's a
scene.
little complicated.
Completely new scene to want any remaining monkey heads
Hold
lying
on,
around.
let me see.
Let's begin fresh slate.
Who joined in?
Delete
Look,
alpha cube.
Oh, that left. What up, boy?
Let's replace it with a new object. You might remember the hotkey for that.
Shit, I'm over here
Shift
just doing
A.
my own research,
And as I
man. You
mentioned
know me
before,
working, bro. We
you
always
usually
working,
want
gang.
what is
We always
underneath
working.
mesh, because these are your
My
primitives.
boy Lefty,
So we want to start with something that most resembles what it is we're building. You know, if it was a house,
Hey
you might
man,
start
make sure
with a
you
cube. If it
you
was a vase, you
subscribe
might
too.
start
Y'all,
with a
hey,
cylinder.
y'all go
In our
subscribe to
case,
my boy
we
Lefty,
want
man. For
the
real.
donut-shaped one, although mathematicians call it a torus for some reason. So let's add that. Now,
Okay,
if I
wait,
zoom
I
in by
don't.
scrolling up, we can see we have something resembling a donut. Looks like a pretty weak looking donut, you know, very
Wait a
flimsy.
minute.
Looks like the... Now we know how Blender functions. Let's start building that donut. So, as before, let's... well, first of all, just to repeat, make sure you are working with a new scene. Completely new scene to want any remaining monkey heads lying around.
Okay, let me get a completely new scene. Okay. A completely new scene. General. I'm not finna say what we just did. Okay, boom. This is a completely new scene. Alright, come on.
Let's begin fresh slate, and let's delete our default cube just with the delete key, and let's replace it with a new object.
Okay, hold on. We're going to delete this bullshit and then replace it with a new object. Alright.
You might remember the hotkey for that
Replace
is
it with a new
Shift
object.
A. And as I mentioned before, you usually want what is underneath mesh, because these are your primitives. So we want to start with something that most resembles what it is we're building. You know, if it was a house, you might start with a cube. If it was a vase, you might start with a cylinder. In our case, we want the donut-shaped one.
Okay, so we're gonna start with a torus. Let me see. Let me add in an object. Bro, how the fuck did he add in an object? How the fuck? Bro. Oh. No, not a fucking cube, bro. How did he just do that, bro? Hold on, bro. I swear I'm not slow, y'all. I do not know how he just did that. Oh, okay, bet. We right here. Okay, bet. Boom. Little do y'all know, this is actually how the universe looks. The universe actually looks just like this right here. All right, we actually learned how to configure this earlier today, right? Didn't we? Yes. Okay, boom. Now, how do we zoom? Okay, wait. I forgot. It was something like this. No, that's the move. Okay, whoa. All right, we're just gonna keep that right there. Boom. All right, come on.
Although mathematicians call it a torus for some reason. So let's add
Because it is a torus, you fucking
now
dumb
if I
fuck.
zoom in by
Okay, coming from somebody who takes dimensions and specifically higher dimensions very seriously. This is a torus, and not only is it a torus, but our universe looks something like this actually. And so does technically time. Time looks technically something like that too, but that's a whole other conversation. And I know I'm extremely smart when it comes to physics, but I struggle when it comes to making a fucking donut.
scrolling up, we can see we have something resembling a donut. It looks like a pretty weak looking donut, very flimsy. Looks like the donut before it's cooked when they just drop it into the vat and it's just this
little... It looked like one of those rings that you put on your balls. Have y'all ever... Hey, never mind. I do want to try that though, but that we ain't even gonna talk about that. I know what I'm talking about.
So immediately after you do some actions in Blender, you have options to change it. And the options are hidden down here in the bottom left-hand corner. You see a little box, and if you click that box, you see options. And look, we can change the dimensions of our torus.
Hey, dimensions!
These options in Blender only appear immediately after you have done that action.
I forgot how to rewind a little bit. How do I rewind on YouTube a little bit? I don't want to rewind a lot. I just want to rewind slightly, like a little bit. But damn, I can't.
Action. If you do an...
Wait, how the fuck is he doing that?
Nice to meet you. I'm Gabriel.
What up, Gabriel? Archangel Gabriel. Shout out, look Lefty, man. Y'all make sure y'all go and subscribe to his YouTube channel. I'm thinking about coming back to the hood. I promise you, bro. I promise I'm gonna be back to the hood, bro. I promise, bro. It's just that I got shot, gang, and like when a nigga gets shot, bro, like that shit changes you, bro. Like it changes you, like I don't know why Lefty hasn't been shot yet, but you know what I'm saying? Like it be happening, bro, and like you know what I'm saying? Like so you gotta lay low, and then that's what I'm doing. But I will be back to the hood soon. Maybe me and Look Lefty should do a video. Who knows? Who fucking knows? I don't know. We will see though. Anyways, let's get back into this. Alrighty. Where were we? Boom.
Another action, like say deselect your torus by mistake.
This may be the last ad you ever see. Because with the free ad block extension,
Capital One, them niggas has still got me blocked, bro.
Ads on sites like YouTube.
They thought that I was
just
scamming just because I cashed in and
right? Because Blender has assumed
check
you
that
have
wasn't
moved
mine.
on. You've accepted
like, bro, chill. Like,
the
they act
state
like
of your
people don't do that from
and
time
this is
to
the one
time.
you want,
Like,
right?
Come on, man.
Now, if you haven't done anything
Ain't
drastic
nothing wrong
to
with a
change
little
this
bit
object
check
some
fries,
severely,
you know what I'm
you
saying?
can
Just a little check
temporarily bring
fry.
it back by hitting
Ain't nothing wrong with
F9. I never actually remember that hotkey. I just remember that immediately after I have added an object, if I want to tweak it, now's my chance before I move on to something else. Okay.
First of all,
so we could change, the size of it here.
Hold on,
we
man.
Can also change
hold on, Blender man, Blender fucking guru. But no, you're not Blender guru. You're Blender man. So calm down, Blender man. We need to figure out what the fuck you even did after you got here. Okay. He was talking about something about an anal plug. I remember he was saying something about that. Oh wait, nah, that was us. Hold on. I don't know what I'm on. Anyways, alright, here we go. I needed to rewind a little bit because he did something to make the fucking donut bigger, but I don't know how the fuck he even did that.
Now we know how Blender functions. Let's start building that donut. So, as before, let's, well, first of all, just to repeat, make sure you are working with a new scene. completely new scene. Don't want any remaining monkey heads lying around.
New scene, yes,
Let's
yes.
begin a fresh slate, and let's delete our default cube just with the delete key, and let's replace it with a new object. You might remember the hotkey for that is Shift
The fucking
A.
Taurus.
And as I mentioned before, you usually want what is underneath mesh because these are your primitives. So we
Can
want
you
to
add
start
in the
with something that
motherfucking
most
Taurus?
resembles what it is we're building. You know, if it was a
Yeah,
house,
he added
you
in the
might start
monkey
with a
earlier.
cube.
That shit
If
was
it was a
fucking
vase,
goofy.
you
I
might
wasn't
start
doing
with a
that.
cylinder. In our case, we want the donut-shaped one. The mathematicians call it a torus for some reason.
Because it
So
is
let's
a
add that.
Taurus.
Now, if I zoom in by scrolling up, we can see we have
Our universe
something
looks
resembling
something
a
like
donut.
that,
Looks like a
by the
pretty
way.
weak-looking donut, you know, very flimsy. Looks
Hey,
like the donut.
see, don't talk about the motherfucking spiritual donut, okay? This is something I don't play with. I'm so serious. I don't play around with this shit at all. When it comes to the magical, higher dimensional donut, bro, you don't fuck around and see, and this is why I don't really fuck with him, bro. Like, I know I'm taking his like class or whatever, bro, but I don't like my motherfucking professor, bro. I don't like this nigga, bro. I don't like you, bro. I just don't like you, bro. And that's just how it is, gang. I mean, I'm grateful you taught this shit, bro, but I don't like you, gang. I really just don't like you. And then you keep doing shit like saying, like, disrespecting the motherfucking higher dimensional God donut. Like, you can't be doing shit like that, bro. Can't be motherfucking disrespecting the celestial donut, bro. Don't do that, bro. Alright.
Donut before it's cooked, when they just drop it into the vat and it's just
See, and the nigga think that he funny, bro. Like, nigga, you ain't funny, bro. Like, get your ugly ass out of here.
little wispy
I don't like
thing.
you, bro.
So immediately after you do some actions in Blender, you have options to change it. And the options are hidden down here in the bottom left-hand corner. You see a little box. And if you click that box, you see options. And look, we can change the dimensions of our
Okay. This is what we was looking for, y'all, this whole fucking time. Wait, what the fuck? Okay. Is this for the Taurus? Wait. I don't got that button, bro. Okay, wait, maybe it's this up here. Bro, no. Whoa, wait. I don't have that, bro. Whoa. Is it this? Oh, it's over here. It's already activated. Okay. Hey, I can make my donut fatter. Let's go. Okay, actually, no, I do want to make it fatter. Did I stutter? Boom. Whoa. Okay. Whoa. Whoa, no. Okay, we gotta fix this. Put this back to motherfucking one. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I'm liking it. This is my no square. Okay. Bro, I did not mean to do that, gang. Alrighty. So we're in the middle of building our own universe right now, y'all. Okay? My goal is to now start Omniverse IT. This is gonna be the first universe, and I'm gonna put a couple galaxies in there and shit. And yeah. Anyways.
torus. Now, something to note is that these options in Blender only appear immediately after you have done that action. If you do another action, like say deselect your torus by mistake, it's gone, right? Because Blender has assumed you have moved on. You've accepted the state of your donut, and this is the one you want, right? Now, if you haven't done anything drastic or changed this object in some severe way, you can temporarily bring it back by hitting F9. I never actually remember that hotkey. I just remember that immediately after I have added an object, if I want to tweak it, now's my
He said, I never, okay, that was actually funny, you bitch ass nigga. He was all like, that was actually, cause I feel him on that. Like, I forgot to motherfucking do that shit too. I forgot to, like, what he was talking about. I made the same mistake that he did. Okay, but he said there's a hotkey for that, F9. Control F9. Control F9. It didn't do anything, bro. He lied. Bro, I'm pressing F9, bro. Bro, this shit don't work. Alright, fuck it. Get your bitch ass on. I forgot how to add in shit. How the fuck do we add in stuff again? Fuck, I forgot how to add in objects. Oh, add, okay. And I remember he said as soon as we do it, okay, boom. Oh, alrighty. Look what we have here. Major radius. What is that? Okay. Boom. Bound chicka wow wow chicka wow wow. Bound chicka wow wow chicka. Oh, I want to make my donut fatter. Yeah, now that's how a donut is supposed to look, y'all. Now that look like a donut. Don't that look like a donut? Yeah. Okay.
Chance before I move on to something else. Okay. So we could change, the size of it here. We can also change the resolution. I'll use the term resolution loosely. To make it higher or lower fidelity. And a mistake that a lot of beginners make, and I say this because this was the exact mistake I made way back in 2003 when I started learning Blender, is they go, well, I need a realistic looking donut, so I guess I need to go really high resolution. I remember my first project, one of my first projects was for a high school film project, and I wanted to have a close-up of a face. Didn't realize faces were going to be difficult, but I went really high poly, and then it was just an absolute nightmare to work with. So the reason you don't want this is that, for starters, things that are high poly are very slow to render, and they're very hard to work with.
Shut the fuck up, Gabriel. Bro, I can't hear the fucking tutorial, bro. Oh my God. Bro, shut the fuck up.
Shape of it. But also, as you learn and you grow with 3D, you'll discover that it is a lot easier to add resolution to something later on, but it is very difficult to take it away if you've already built it into it and you don't need it. So, long way to say, what we actually want is to have as few polys, these are called polys, as you can get away with. So I'm going to go with 32 major and 12 minor. And don't worry.
Okay, so we're going to just do the same thing he did. $32 major and 12 minor.
That it looks all jagged, because we will fix that in a moment. Now, the major and minor, this is really up to you, but I find that something that looks it's kind of chunky, like a fat donut. Just
yeah. For your fat fucking face, bitch. Of course you want a fucking fat donut. You fucking fat fuck. Okay, let me see. I'm sorry, y'all, but that just made me mad, bro. I don't like when people do stuff like that, bro, and be talking like that. Okay, let me see. No, that look like a tire. I think I do need to make my donut hole smaller. I think that my hole is too big. I think that my hole is too big. Oh, okay, no, I fucked up. Okay, because I needed to make my hole smaller. My hole was just too big. Okay. Now that's a pretty good tight hole right there. All right, perfect. All right, okay.
So I'm going with something around about this size, okay? And once I'm happy with this, once I'm ready to click off, I click off, the options are gone, and this is it. This is the donut that I am now working with. So how do we make this look higher resolution, less jagged? Well, one way is to use smooth shading. So if you right-click with your object selected, go to Shade Smooth. And look at that, this is immediately better. Without getting too technical, this is kind of a fakery. It's sort of like the shader is telling the renderer that this is a really high poly dense mesh when it really isn't. It's just basically kind of like averaging out faces, and anyway, it's very technical, but basically means it's not going to add anything to your render time, but it's going to look smoother. And so this is generally what you want for something that is smooth and organic looking, like we want. If you were rendering like architectural or like hard surfaces, like later on we're going to put this on a counter, then the object would obviously want to be flat. But in our case, we're just going to use Shade Smooth. But you might notice that looking at this, especially if you go side on, that you've got this sort of jagged shape around here, right? So the silhouette is really breaking that illusion that this is a high poly or a smooth looking donut. But thankfully, rather than adding all of that complex density into the mesh itself and then making it hard to remove later on, there's another way through modifiers. So if we go over here to our properties, right, this very confusing, lots of option looking properties, click on the wrench, and this is the section called modifiers. And this is one of those object-dependent things. So if you've got your camera selected, you won't see it. So it's only when you've got actual meshes that you might see this modifier here. So it's much easier to explain if we just add one. So up here, add modifier, and you got a range of options here that can do a whole number of things. The one that we're looking for is underneath generate, and it is called subdivision surface. And it is a really common modifier that you use all the time. In fact, it's so common, it's actually, you can just immediately add it to any object just by hitting Control-1. But don't do that because we've already got it, so there. Now, some of you might have just discovered that your donut has disappeared. If that is the case, you need to go to Edit, Preferences, and then underneath Viewport, where it's got Subdivision at the very bottom, Disable GPU. You might notice that looking at this, especially if you go side on, that you've got this sort of jagged shape around here, right? So the silhouette is really breaking that illusion that this is a high poly or a smooth looking donut. But thankfully, rather than adding all of that complex density into the mesh itself and then making it hard to remove later on, there's another way through modifiers. So if we go over here to our properties, right, this very confusing, lots of option looking properties, click on the wrench, and this is the section called modifiers. And this is one of those object-dependent things. So if you've got your camera selected, you won't see it. So it's only when you've got actual meshes that you might see this modifier here. So it's much easier to explain if we just add one. So up here, add modifier, and you got a range of options here that can do a whole number of things. The one that we're looking for is underneath generate, and it is called subdivision surface. And it is a really common modifier that you use all the time. In fact, it's so common, it's actually, you can just immediately add it to any object just by hitting Control-1. But don't do that because we've already got it, so there. Now, some of you might have just discovered that your donut has disappeared.
My donut did not disappear.
If that is the case, you need to go to Edit, preferences
still got
and
my
under viewport,
magical
where it's got
celestial
subdivision at the
donut.
very bottom, disable GPU subdivision. That will then make the subdivision perform on your CPU instead of your GPU, which is maybe non-existent or not performing whatever. But disable that and it should appear. But if it's already working for you, don't disable it. Keep it going because GPU will be faster. So what exactly is this doing? Well, it's a lot easier to explain if we look at the shade flat mode because we're not being tricked by the smooth.
Hold on, bro. You moving way too goddamn fast. Damn. Acting like niggas have done this before. I hate when the nigga start teaching you when he act like you done did this shit before. Like, nigga, damn, you the only nigga that's ever used this goddamn app. Fuck. Give me some goddamn time. Hold on, I need to fucking figure this shit out. Okay. How the fuck did he zoom in like that? Okay. Oh, alrighty. Boom. Now, my thing is, I don't have jagged edges, bro. Oh, I do got jagged edges. Bro, oh, I didn't even know this. Oh. Whoa, what the fuck? Yeah, stop. Move. Stop. Just, yeah, don't do that no, bro. Okay, let me see. Oh, fuck. Okay. I mean, I do have jagged edges. I see it slightly. It's like very slight jagged edges. Like, yeah, very slightly. Alrighty. So now what do I, okay. But how did he get here? Okay, what is he even doing, bro? See, this is why I don't like this nigga. What are you even doing, bro?
Shading there. If I set this levels viewport to 0, this is our original mesh. This is before we add the subsurface, essentially. When we increase this, you can see that it is adding resolution to our mesh. And the more I increase this viewport levels here, the finer.
Oh, yeah. I was wondering why my donut looked so crisp. I was like, bro, my donut look a little more crisp than it usually. You know what I'm saying? Than like what it was looking like. But now I see why. Okay, this works. Okay, hold on.
ZZZZ.
Shut up. Shut your bitch ass up. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. I just want to see it lose. Okay. I just wanted to see it lose like it's shit that he was talking about. Okay. So we bring it back to, oh, that's horrible. I think that my donut was just looking better than his, period, because it's just a better donut. Okay. Alright. I'm liking this so far. Let's go. Let's keep it going.
And finer that detail becomes. So to explain it, because this is such a very, very common modifier, it's kind of important to understand how it's working. You can see that this is these squares here. These are called faces, by the way. And for each one of these faces here, as I add a level, you can see it's becoming 4 faces, right? And then now if I zoomed in on this one face here, if I do another level, that's now become 4 faces. And then if I zoom in again, it's now become 4 faces. So it's exponentially.
Hold on, y'all. I literally cannot miss the motherfucking thing. Let me go and make sure I'm subscribed to Look Lefty. Shout out Lefty, man. Came in and blew up the stream, really supporting the nigga and shit. Y'all, I'm so... Yo, I'm not gonna lie, I'm so tired. Actually, I'm not even tired. I just don't want to make this motherfucker. I just don't feel like learning how to fucking make a donut no more. I don't want to do this. I like the way you move. I like the way you move. I like the way. Stop trying to fucking sponsor me with some dumbass shit in my email. Okay. Gotta take a stretching break. Okay. Let's get back into
adding detail. And you might also know that it is smoothing it out as well. Like this jagged edge that we've got here, you can see now becomes smoother. So to quickly visualize that, if I just draw, like imagine you've got like a 90-degree corner, right? Like this. If you add a subsurf modifier, what it's going to do is it's going to add a point here, right? Because this is the extra detail. It's also going to take that point there and it's going to average it out. It's going to average it out between these points. And it's going to create another one there and another one there. So you go then from having that really hard corner there to having something that looks a lot smoother. So it's going to take a point and it's also going to change it to make it look smoother, generally speaking. So there we go. So now as I increase this, you can see it's getting smoother and smoother. Now, the reason there are two options here, you've got levels viewport and levels render. So reminder, this gray area that we operate in is called our viewport. The render is the pretty version. So as an example, you can see if I just turned it off for the viewport, it looks very jagged. But then for my render, if I increase that to 3, if I do my render, which you could go up there and render image, or remember the hotkey F12, you can see that that donut is now smooth, but I go back and you can see it's jagged. So the viewport, you want to generally keep it lightweight, and then the render time, that's where you want to get a really nice looking pretty image. So you want to often have 2 different levels. In our case though, I don't really think we need to go beyond 1, even for our final pretty image, because this with shade smoothing turned on is good enough. And we're going to be adding more to the scene later on, so we don't want to make it too complex. So this is actually pretty good. Okay, so we have a perfect donut, and that's the problem. It's too perfect. You could spend decades trying to develop a machine in the real world that made a donut this perfect, and you never would. This is so mathematically precise that the eye will always see this as looking fake. So that's actually a problem you learn pretty quickly in 3D, that things that are too perfect just look fake. So you have to spend time making things look misshapen and adding variation there like you see in the real world, because your eye expects to see it. So how do we do that? How do we make this donut look a little more lumpy and interesting? I do that by changing the mesh itself. So this mode that we are in right now, where we can, click on different objects, is called object mode. And I know that because in the top left-hand corner, you can see we are in object mode. But if I click the drop down, you can see I get a number of other options here. And these options, again, will change depending on the object you've got selected. If I've got a lamp, my little light there selected, you can see I've only got object mode. My camera, I've only got object mode. But a mesh will give you extra options here. So let's enter into edit mode. Ooh.
Oh no! Okay, I lied. I like my professor now. I now like my professor. I like him.
Right. Now, you can see our mesh, our object has become something that looks weird. It's got a bunch of little points on it with lines and very technical. Well, that's because this is actually what the mesh is made up of. These little points here, which you can click on just by selecting, are called your vertices. The singular term is called vertex, I never say that. I like to just call all of them vertices, regardless of whether it's one or two, just because you always get some comments that go, actually, it's called vertex if it is singular. Anyway, so these are called your vertices. And if you have two of them joined by a line, that is called an edge. And if you have four of them forming a face, then it's called a face. So with these, I can quickly change the shape of my object by using the same hotkeys as before.
Oh,
and if
that's
I want
smart.
to move
Okay,
this,
I get it,
then
I
I
get
would
it.
simply tap G, right? And you can see it's now attached to my cursor. And then if I want to confirm its movement, I just do a single left click, and there it is. Now, if I go back into object mode, like that, you can see that my mesh
He
has
just gave it
changed,
Donut a boner.
And by the way, the hotkey
Okay,
for
hold
jumping
on.
in and out.
We need to try to give our donut a boner real quick. We just want to try. Okay. Come over here. He said go into edit mode. It should look like this. Okay. Wait, hold on. Something's wrong with our donut. We need to do this. We need to rotate our donut. Rotate our donut like this. I'm gonna put a little boner right there. We're gonna put the boner right there, y'all. Okay, and then boom. And then... Okay, now we need to zoom in. How do I zoom in? Okay. Okay, we're gonna choose right here. Vertices. How the fuck did he do that? How the fuck did he do that? They won't let me do it. Okay, hold on, wait a minute. How the hell did he do that? Okay, where are we at?
Our object has become something that looks weird. It's got a bunch of little points on it with lines and very technical. Well, that's because this is actually what the mesh is made up of. These little points here, which you can click on just by selecting, are called your vertices. The singular term is called vertex. I never say that. I like to just call all of them vertices, regardless of whether it's one or two, just because you always get some comments that go, actually, it's called
getting hot.
vertex if it is singular. Anyway, so these are called your vertices. And if you have two of them joined by a line, that is called an edge. And if you have four of them,
See, how is he doing
forming
that?
a face, then
How the fuck is he connecting all of them at one time?
it's called a face. So with these, I can quickly change the shape of my object by using the same hotkeys as before. And if I want to move this, then I would simply tap G. Right? You can see it's now attached to my cursor. And then if I want to confirm its movement,
How the fuck? Okay. He said he just taps G. Whoa, 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 whoa. Bruh. Stop. Okay. He just taps G. Okay, oh. Hold on. Something worked. Okay, hold on. He just taps G. Okay, hold on, wait. He just taps G. Oh, bro, we just gave our freaking donut a boner. Hey. Okay, and then we said you can go back to object mode. And then boom. Oh, bro. Let's go. We're making progress, y'all. See? But before you know it, we will have us a full 3D movie in no time. Okay. Let's go, let's go, let's go. This is easy. This is too easy, bro. I need something
I just
harder
do
than
a
this.
single left click, and there it is. Now, if I go back into object mode, like that, you can see that my mesh has changed, okay? And by the way, the hotkey for jumping in and out of object and edit mode is just tab, okay? So you can see it's just toggling between those two modes because it's so common that you want to just quickly change things that it's just easily accessible by that. Now, this is okay, right? But you can see it's got like some artifacting. It's not the greatest lump, right? So how do we make it look a little more natural? Well, I mean, you could, you move one, drag it out, okay, click, and then I move, the next one next to it, right? I'll move that out, and then I'll move this one out a little bit, and then I move this one. And it's like, okay, well, now I've got the thing, but it took me like 5 actions. Ridiculous, right? No one wants to do that. No one's got time for that. Thankfully, there is a tool in Blender just for this, and it's called proportional editing, and you can enable it up there in your toolbar. So if you enable that, now if I hit G and I move it out, you will see I get a little ring around my cursor there, and that is now changing the mesh around it. Now, a lot of people in my previous tutorials were like, I don't see what's going on. You have to have something selected first, and then when you hit G, you will see that little circle of influence. Okay, now this circle of influence, if I scroll up, you can see it's shrinking its circle of influence. And if I scroll down, it is expanding its influence. So it's only going.
Oh, he said something about proportions. How did he do that? I forgot he did that. How you do that? How you do that? How you do that? How you do that? He clicked on something. Oh, it was this. There we go. Like, how you do that? How you do that? How you do that? How you do that? Hey. Okay. This don't seem right though. This don't seem right, dude. Hold on, wait a minute. What would be the difference if I just had this in there? Bro, it's the same fucking thing. Okay, hold on, wait a minute. Oh.
Did you know you can pet me?
Shut your bitch ass up. Shut your bitch ass up. Oh shit. Okay, I'm liking this. Oh fuck, I don't want my donut to look like that though. Hold on. Undo. And then okay. Alrighty. Okay. Let's go back to work.
Going to affect what is in that ring there. Okay. If you are on, if you don't have a mouse with a scroll wheel, you can also change the influence by using page up and page down. And if you don't have page up or page down because you're on a Mac keyboard, then what you would have to do is go to key map and then change your page up and page down to something else, just so that you could get around that. But guys, you got to get a mouse. Get a mouse with a scroll wheel. I think they're, 50 cents or just in the nearest landfill somewhere. Get a mouse because it's going to make your life in 3D a lot easier. Okay, so with this, I can now make quick work of lumpy shapes, okay? So I just drag that out. Okay, I've got a little lumpy shape there. Maybe I go down here and I pull this up just by hitting G, moving it up. Okay, so already this is looking a little more natural, right?
No, that look like an ugly ass donut, bro.
Stylized world for
my donut. No, I don't want my donut to look like that, bro. I'm not doing it, bro. I'm also not gonna keep this boner on my donut either. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, we finna get this figured out. I understand what he wants me to do. I understand, y'all. I'm not retarded. Okay, we just not finna do what he did because that shit was ugly as hell. What we finna do is this. I'm finna show y'all what we finna do. Y'all finna see what we finna do. Okay? See, what he should have did actually, like, and then maybe I need to start teaching this class. Like low-key, I should be teaching this. I ain't gonna lie. And, like, what he should have did, like, what he meant to tell y'all to do was, like, slightly, see, he's thinking about, you know what I'm saying? He's always thinking about, you know what I'm saying, that way. But really, you should be thinking about, you know what I'm saying, this way. And really, you need to put that a little in. You know what I'm saying? Because when donuts are in, like, the little donut box, you know what I'm saying, they be touching in, like, shit like that. So it's like, boom. I got me a little dent. See, he don't got dents, bro. He not thinking like see, that's because he's not as experienced as I am when it comes to using this. So yeah, that's all that is. But also I agree. I'm gonna go on and add in a little lumps because I mean it ain't like you know what I'm saying? It ain't like it ain't there. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just I don't want him boom, like, cause it's like if it's too much, like it's gonna look stupid. You know what I'm saying? But like about right there is alright. I mean, I'm liking that. Probably a little more of an inwards dent right here, like that. And then, whoa, what the fuck did I just do? Okay. Like that. Boom. See, it don't need to be too much. It don't need to be too much. You know what I'm saying? Yo, yeah. This is how your donut should be looking, bro. Okay.
a Pixar movie or something like that, you can't have just a spherical looking donut, round looking circular donut, because your eye will see it as fake. So very quickly, I'm able to add a little bit of variation to the donut, just all around it, just a little bit over here. And you can see that I am just changing my circle of influence depending on what size of a lump I want to make. So I just want to make like a little bit that sticks out. I can make a small circle just by scrolling up like that. And you just want to do that until you get something that looks a little more natural. You might want to make the inner part as well. We just drag that in with a smaller circle.
He's good.
And that's pretty good. Let's just have a look from the top. I might actually just drag that out, make it a little bit more like that. But there you go. That's pretty good for a donut. It's still kind of simple. It's not too detailed, but it's got just enough variation in it that it's more interesting to look at. Oh, one more thing, forgot to mention. Go back into edit mode with tab. donuts, when they're sitting in the little vat thing, right, they're only like half submerged, so then they have to be flipped. But it means that the bit that's nearest to the surface is getting less heat. So essentially what I'm saying is the bit that's around the donut, the circumference of it, is usually a little bit flatter. So donuts aren't like perfectly round all the way around. They're usually a little bit flatter. So what I want to do is I want to select these vertices along here, and then I want to shrink them. Now I could go around one by one like this, which is actually what I used to do when I was learning Blender pre-YouTube days, and there was no tutorials. What I would do this if I wanted to select this. Silly, because there's a function, a tool for that, and it is edge select. So if you hold down Alt on your keyboard and then do a single left click on not the points, but on the edge, right, this little line here, you can see it's selected all the way around. So it's anything that's connected along that line is now selected. So if I want to shrink this, right, what would I do? Well, I mean, yeah, you could like move it around, right? We want to shrink it. We want to change the scale of it. So we would use the hotkey S for scale. So S, and I'm going to scale that in. And I actually don't want proportional editing. So I'm going to turn that off and now scale in and just make it a little bit flatter. And there you go. See, just...
Okay. Oh, yeah, bro, this is so good. Okay. And we don't want proportional editing. He said turn that off. So G. And then now we gonna wait, time out. G. Whoa. Okay. How the hell did he do that? Okay, how the hell did he make that shit flat? Did I stutter? He said, no, don't touch me there. No, spell. Okay. Okay, well, we got that part now. I don't know, y'all. I don't like that part of it.
Did you know you can pet me? Check
Shut your
out the
bitch
Pet
ass up.
Cafe.
Okay. Alrighty.
This feels a little bit more natural, doesn't it? Looks a little bit closer to what a donut looks like. And by the way, don't worry if yours doesn't look exactly like this, like your lump is a little bit off. Like some people get a little bit too precious with the tutorial. They're going to match exactly everything I do. Like I'm just working on the fly as well. So just make what you think looks good. Maybe you think this is not misshapen enough and you want to add more. Go for it, because it might actually turn out better than what mine is. Now, before we move to the next part, how to save. How to save. Blender, very, very easy. You just go save as, and you just get one file. It's called .blend. Very literal file extension, really pushing the limits of what a file extension can be. That's almost a word, Blender. Anyway, .blend, and that's it. And then next time you open it up, it's exactly like it. It's not like ZBrush where you got like 4 or 5 different ways to save a project or an object or a tool or a... Hate ZBrush. Okay, that's how you save. Now, also, finally, I would say, if you need help, because I know if you're stuck and then you leave a YouTube comment, you might not get a reply. If you want immediate help, I've got a Discord. So I'll put the link below. So there's like little channel in there where you can just ask for specific donut help. So if you're having issues, feel free to jump into that. And also, guys, don't beat yourself up. Like 3D is definitely has like a steep-ish learning curve. So you're in that steep slope right now, and it's really common. Like a lot of this stuff is very foreign. 3D is very unique. It's very different to a lot of 2D tools. But don't give up. Like it's definitely achievable to learn and self-learn at home. You don't have to go to school. You don't have to pay for a tutor. It's really easy to get help online nowadays. So do make use of that Discord. Post comments as well in the YouTube comments if you want to. But I hope you stay with it. So if you're ready to jump to the next part after you've saved your Blend file, go ahead, click here, and I will see you there. Did you guys know that Blender 4.0 had a change that makes it more realistic by default? Or that there's a new technology that is going to expand the uses for 3D exponentially? Well, you would if you were on my free newsletter called This Week in 3D. It's an email from me once a week with 3 to 5 things that I found interesting that week from the world of 3D. So sometimes I share a new tool that I found, a remarkable tutorial, a new Blender feature, a news story that affects the industry.
How the fuck do I join this email list?
I just give my controversial opinions on AI. So click the link in the description, enter your email address, and then you will stay up to date on the world of 3D.
Bitch, I can't even
It's always
join
free
it.
and it's always written by me. Now, on to the tutorial. Welcome back to the Donut Show, where we make sad little donuts that we cannot eat. This is where we finished up at the end of part 1. We've got our nice looking donut, and now we're going to make that icing, which looks complex, but is actually fairly simple. Now,
Oh yes,
as I
we do gotta
mentioned
make that
before, if you
icing.
want to add an object, you go Shift-A, right? And then you start with something that resembles what you're trying to create. But we already have something that resembles the exact shape we want to create. It's the donut, because we want the icing around the donut. So let's just reuse this information. So we can do that by duplicating the object. And if you don't know the hotkey for it, you could just go Object, and then you'd find it here, where it says Shift-D. So Shift.
All right, this look like it's gonna be complicated. We gonna do the icing, roll up, and we getting off this shit. We gonna finish this tomorrow.
D. Now, when you hit that, you are in a placement state, essentially. Like it's duplicated, and it's now saying, where do you want to place it? Now, in our case, and actually often, you don't actually want to change its placement. You want to duplicate it exactly where it was. So you can cancel the movement by hitting Escape or right-clicking. Now, when you do that, it looks like it's canceled the duplication, but you can see in your outliner, it has duplicated it. You've got 2 objects, but it's just in the exact same place, which is what we want. So first things first, we need to name them, or else we could get very confused very easily. So you can name an object by just double-clicking it in the outliner, and then just typing in the object. The other way you can name something, I'll just show you the second way. If you select the Taurus 0.001, that's your icing object. If you're in the 3D view, where your cursor, is over the 3D viewport, if you hit F2, that's another very quick way that you can name something without having to go out up to the outliner to find your object. So with our icing object
This
selected,
nigga just
let's
really
go
felt like
into
that was
edit mode by
necessary to
hitting
teach us.
tab.
Like, bro.
So we want the icing on the top, which means this bottom half of our mesh here is redundant. Don't need it. So we want to delete it. So if we just dragged over the bottom here, you can see it looks like we've selected the bottom half of our donut, but if you were to move around, you would see, oh, we haven't actually. It's only selected, annoyingly, what is facing the camera. Where there's a mesh, it's not gone through the mesh. A lot of users find this annoying. I agree. Sometimes it seems like that would be the more default one that would make more sense. But anyway, don't want to argue. So if you want to select through a mesh, you can go up to here in your top navigation, toggle X-ray. If you turn that on, it's going to enable you to see through the mesh. And now, when I drag over it, you can see that I have selected all through the mesh as I move around it. By the way, you might...
Okay, y'all. I know that seemed probably a little bit complicated, but I'm with them still. I'm still here. I get it. I know what's going on. We here. First, I need to... What the fuck? I think he said, "Oh no! I didn't mean to do that." I think that he said to duplicate it, you just go here or you go here. Oh, okay. Oh my lord. What is even going on? This is complicated. My head. No. Okay, I had to let that out, y'all. I had to let that out. Oh fuck, the dog. Fuck, I'm locked in here. Well, that's a bummer. Um. All right, y'all. We have a slight problem. Okay. Our donut we supposed to be selecting. I gotta do something real quick. Hold on, wait a minute. Okay. This donut. We need you to be upright. It's very important. Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Huh? Bruh, it's not working right. Bro, this ain't working right, bro. How the fuck do you do that?
You might find it like when you're in this state, it's kind of hard to select. Like it's easy to kind of accidentally select what is above it, and depending on what you've got at your end, that might have happened already. So another way to easily just look directly on the side-on of your donut is to just click one of these, like in your gizmo here, instead of just dragging around. Just do a single click on either the green one or the red one, the X or the Y. And now we're in that state. You can see it's flattened it, so it's put you in orthographic mode, which actually you can toggle to at any time, just over there, which just makes it easier to just do a single all the way through the mesh.
Fuck. Hey, real nigga. Bro, I fuck with that nigga, bro.
Select. All right. Okay. All right. So we want to delete that. So just hit the delete key. You get an extra option here of what do you want to delete? Edges, faces. You want the vertices. That's everything. And now we have, if we go back to object mode, and then let's turn off toggle X-ray as well. And you can see it's working. We got half the donut on top of itself. But as you move around, you can see you get some flickering. Now, this flickering happens,
hold on,
and it's actually a very common, it's actually a good warning sign to you as an artist, because it means you've got faces on top of faces, thickness to our icing. So we can do that with a solidifier modifier. So adding a thickness to our icing. So we can do that with a solidifier, which is what we want. So first things first, we need to name them, or else we could get very confused very easily. So you can name an object by just double clicking it in the outliner and then just typing in the object. The other way you can name something, I'll just show you the second way. If you select the Taurus 0.001, that's your icing object. If you're in the 3D view, where your cursor, is over the 3D viewport, if you hit F2, that's another very quick way that you can name something without having to go up to the outliner to find your object. So with our icing object selected, let's go into edit mode by hitting tab. So we want the icing on the top, which means this bottom half of our mesh here is redundant. Don't need it. So we want to delete it. So if we just dragged over the bottom here, you can see it looks like we've selected the bottom half of our donut, but if you were to move around, you would see, oh, we haven't actually. It's only selected, annoyingly, what is facing the camera. Where there's a mesh, it's not gone through the mesh. A lot of users find this annoying. I agree. Sometimes it seems like that would be the more default one that would make more sense. But anyway, don't want to argue.
Don't worry
so
about
if
me
you want to select through a mesh, you can
That's
go up to
something
here in your
That's like my
toggle
animalistic
navigation,
nature, like, I gotta
toggle
do that.
X-ray. If you turn that on, it's going to enable you to see through the mesh. And now, when I drag over it, you can see that I have selected all through the mesh as I move around it. By the way, you might find it like when you're in this state, it's kind of hard to select, like it's easy to kind of accidentally select what is above it. And depending on what you've got at your end, that might have happened already. So another way to easily just look directly on the side-on of your donut is to just click one of these, like in your gizmo here, instead of just dragging around, just do a single click on either the green one or the red one, the X or the Y. And now we're in that state. You can see it's flattened it. So it's put you in orthographic mode, which actually you can toggle to at any time, just over there, which just makes it easier to just do a single, all the way through the mesh, select. All right. Okay. All right. So we want to delete that. So just hit the delete key. You get an extra option here of what do you want to delete? Edges, faces. You want the vertices. That's everything. And now we have, if we go back to object mode, and then let's turn off toggle X-ray as well. And you can see it's working. We got half the donut on top of itself. But as you move around, you can see you get some flickering. Now, this flickering happens, and it's actually a very common, it's actually a good warning sign to you as an artist, because it means you've got faces on top of faces. And
Okay.
the 3D software.
We're going to pause this. We're going to save this. We're going to do... while we smoke, we're going to just get inspired. But we are officially done, y'all, with our training for today. We're going to leave it at that. So far, we got the basis of the donut done. Basically got the basis of it done. And tomorrow, we're going to come back in and actually turn this into a fucking donut. But meantime, oh, hold on. What's up, y'all? What's up? My boy Look Lefty said, keep grinding. My boy, thank you, man. I very much appreciate you, gang. Y'all make sure that y'all like and subscribe. Let me see. We're at an hour and 44 minutes in. Okay. I forgot what was I gonna say. Oh yeah, we're finna watch a little bit of motivational editing shit and then smoke while we're doing that.
software doesn't know which face it wants to render, right? So it's like sometimes saying it's the front.
Shout out my professor though. Let's look at this. I'm dead. That's actually pretty hard. So I can do that. I'll be able to do that, y'all. So I'll be able to do this. I don't know why he's in Call of Duty though. That looks fake. I don't like that one. That wasn't good. That looks fake.
This is a reminder to please keep your hands inside of the railing system at all times. This is a
See, how
reminder
the
to please
fuck?
keep your hands inside of the railing system at all times. This is a reminder to please keep your hands inside of the railing system at all times. This is a reminder to please keep your hands inside of the railing system at all times.
That was pretty impressive.
ZZZZ.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough.
Let me see this.
This is what movies look like without special effects, like the behind-the-scenes footage of The Avengers, Man of Steel, Pirates of the Caribbean, and so much more. Long before Johnny Depp's live-action courtroom drama, he and Orlando Bloom were busy fighting off zombie sharks on a sinking boat. The only problem is, zombie sharks are a little hard to come by, so the Pirates of the Caribbean VFX team made do with a massive blue screen set,
Oh my god, stepped on a bee.
a hydraulic-powered boat, and plenty of imagination. Tom Holland starred in the video game remake Uncharted, whose opening scene is a high-octane fall from a cargo plane without a parachute. You'd think Spider-Man would be okay doing his own aerial stunts, but they've brought in wires, a giant hydraulic arm, and a blue set to help producers pull off the death-defying scenes. You don't even need to use real cars in movies anymore. This iconic scene from X-Men Days of Future Past has Quicksilver rushing in to save his colleagues from an explosion at 2,000 miles per second. To create this faster-than-sound sequence, filmmakers filmed Evan Peters running on a treadmill and blended it with a rotating shot that had been slowed down.
Tasty.
The result was this slow-mo masterpiece. This scene in John Wick 3 just couldn't have been filmed on a real street. Instead, fake motorbikes, green carts, a complex winch system, and a whole bunch of dudes in green morph suits all helped Keanu Reeves fight off his attackers in slow motion. They even had a guy blowing wind on Keanu's hair to make it look like the bike was moving. Speaking of Spider-Man, ever wondered how they make your friendly neighborhood Spidey look so good? It's mostly blue screens. And a whole lot of fighting.
It's mostly
only
blue
really looks
screens.
good from a certain angle. Despite all the help, some of Tom's acrobatics are actually quite impressive. This scene from Supergirl looks a little different without the post-effects added in. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Superheroes without their powers just look like mimes in fancy leotards.
We're not gonna win this today.
When the cast returned to Jumanji, the majority of their jungle adventures were way too dangerous to film for real. Plus, where are you gonna find a herd of angry ostriches at short notice? The film and effects crew utilized some inventive blue screen sets and high-end CGI to create a visual masterpiece.
And now head for the rhombus! Come on, hurry up! Rhombus! Rhombus!
One of the biggest movies of all time, Avengers Endgame, was an absolute masterpiece in terms of visual effects and computer-generated backdrops. Not only did teams have to render special abilities and costumes onto hundreds of superheroes, but all this with an apocalyptic wasteland as the backdrop. I have to say, though, I thought Thanos would have been taller. Rather than trying to teach Jason Momoa how to breathe underwater, the team behind Aquaman used some pretty inventive visual effects to bring the DC superhero comic to life. Lighting, wires, and motion capture were all employed to take this above-ground set straight to Atlantis. Superman's Man of Steel makes every kid want to fly, but the secret to this superhero's flight ability all comes down to wires, pulleys, and a team of people pulling the strings. He's not really faster than a speeding bullet, it just looks like it when you speed up the tape. The powers might be fake, but the Man of Steel's abs are 100% real. You're probably not shocked to find out that the dinosaurs in Jurassic World aren't real. That's right, they're almost completely CGI. Wait, almost? We hate to ruin the mystery behind these fierce velociraptors, but they're actually just guys in gray leotards and raptor helmets. For the most part, Chris Pratt just has to pretend there's a vicious predator standing in front of him. What about the T-Rex? Nope, completely computer generated. In this scene from World War Z, Brad Pitt's character throws a live grenade inside an airplane to save himself from a frenzied zombie herd. Rather than sacrifice 100 extras at 30,000 feet, the special effects team used a prop plane, wind cannons, wires, and a giant green screen set to create the epic scene. In the live-action reboot of the Disney classic Aladdin, it was always going to be a challenge to bring all the magical elements to life. From flying the magic carpet to running through the Cave of Wonders, producers used blue screens, hidden supports, and specially designed motion capture suits for Will Smith's genie.
Oh, that's hot.
If you wanted me to describe the plot of Alice in Wonderland, I'd probably say it's 2 parts fever dream mixed with 3 parts of whatever the caterpillars got. True to the surreal nature of the novel, the 2010 remake relied on whimsical CGI, green suits, and stilts to create characters of all sizes and perspectives. The logistics of building a massive wall are way beyond most film companies. It's even beyond most presidents. That's the reason why producers working on Maze Runner used incredibly realistic CGI to render these massive maze walls. There's only small constructions used for reference. The rest is a complete fabrication. In Disney's Beauty and the Beast remake, the fearsome prince-turned-monster is a terribly intimidating creature. In reality, it's just a guy in a motion capture suit. I'm not sure if that's padding he's got there, or if the guy only does leg day, but those are some beastly quads. This river rapid scene in The Hobbit had so much going on all at once. There's a raging river, orcs firing arrows and swinging swords, as well as making sure all the dwarves stay in their barrels. Swap out weapons for green pool noodles, add in some well-timed splashes of water, and you got yourself an authentic indoor river rapid adventure. Behind the silky smooth animation of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who knew there were actually 4 ninjas underneath it all wearing motion capture suits and fake shell backpacks made out of foam? Cowabunga! We're still a few years away from the android servants used in the Kingsman Golden Circle, but the special effects team used an actress in a green morph suit to render a fairly convincing CGI droid. The robot stand-in even wore roller skates to give the movement some authenticity for the final shot.
Please take your shirt off.
A movie full of sentient apes is a VFX team's worst nightmare. Even though finding extras that act like monkeys sounds easy.
Hold on. Ooh. Hold on, wait a minute.
Or roller skates to give the movement some authenticity for the final shot.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hey, she kind of built different, I ain't gonna lie. Who is that? Oh, whoa.
Please take your shirt off.
A movie full of sentient apes is a VFX team's worst nightmare. Even though finding extras that act like monkeys sounds easy enough, adding the computer rendering to a dozen motion capture suits is an exhausting process. But the end result is all worth it. While watching Planet of the Apes, it's hard to tell it's just some guys in gray costumes monkeying around. The Matrix was one of the first movies to really use mind-bending VFX and innovative cinema techniques in a way people hadn't seen before. They coined the bullet time shot to create this bullet-dodging scene on the rooftop using green screens, multiple moving cameras, and wires to keep Neo from hitting the ground. When it comes to superheroes, there's one you definitely call overpowered. With almost every superpower in the book in her arsenal, making Captain Marvel come to life on the big screen was any VFX animator's dream. If climbing Mount Everest is one of life's hardest achievements, it makes sense that a film crew wouldn't be up at the peak of the world's highest mountain. Instead, teams built base camps under a giant green screen backdrop. Treacherous walks across icy caverns and climbs up rock peaks are all done in the comfort of an air-conditioned set. America's favorite superhero, Captain America. He needed a little help pulling off the superhuman feats on display during Civil War, and help came courtesy of some cool practical and visual effects. When he's not manhandling helicopters, he's leaping 2 stories into an open window. When you're doing a live-action remake of a story that has only one human character, your VFX team is going to have their work cut out for them. In Disney's 2016 Jungle Book remake, extras in blue morph suits take the place of monkeys, only to be edited in later. Baloo is just Jon Favreau sitting in a pool. And Mowgli has to pretend those hand puppets are actually wild animals. Back in the old days of cinema, teams would have to wait until snowfall to shoot classic scenes like this one in Mulan. Now it's all done in post-production. Even the horse is fake. Likewise, any of the scenes involving any of the aerial acrobatics. It's all done at half speed with wires to help the actors jump and spin through the air. To perfectly map the behaviors, movement, and actions of a friendly dog in The Call of the Wild, the VFX team used an actor in a motion tracking suit instead of training an actual dog. Good boy. In Disney's Maleficent, Angelina Jolie's portrayal was equal parts amazing and terrifying, but creating her winged flight into battle and aerial acrobatics couldn't have been done without the help of a blue screen set, a complex system of rotating harnesses, and a team of blue-suited technicians.
My dog stepped on a bee.
Alrighty, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and